What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Sean O'Malley reveals UFC plan. After a dominant first title defense against Chito Vera this past weekend in the main event of UFC 299, Sugar Sean O'Malley indicated that although he's interested in competing against Ilia Topuria, he would also be willing to defend his bantamweight title against Nurmagomedov. In the wake of the fight, O'Malley appeared on the MMA Hour this week to discuss the fight, as well as his future plans, while indicating his desire to defend the title against the Machine despite his call-out of El Matador. O'Malley named the upcoming UFC 306 Noche UFC card at the Sphere in September as a potential event.
Headline in the Sphere in Vegas. Let's do it. I mean, I think that makes sense. I don't think anybody would, argue against that. I think that would be legendary. I know Connor's talked about potentially going on that card, potential International Fight Week. So, out of respect for him still being the best and the biggest in the business, I'll take wherever I can get. But, I think that'd be interesting.
While it's no doubt that an O'Malley versus Dvalishvili headliner would be massive, there has also been talk of Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko, who will be coaching the upcoming season of The Ultimate Fighter, headlining the card. With that being said, Shevchenko has indicated that she wants the fight to be at a neutral site after headlining the first Noche UFC card, opening the door to an O'Malley versus Dvalishvili headliner. Next up, let's take a look at Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev next. In the co-main event of UFC 299, Dustin Poirier and Benoit Saint-Denis competed in a heart-stopping fight that saw the former interim lightweight champion secure an early contender for knockout of the year. After Saint-Denis controlled the first round, Poirier, who looked completely unfazed, finished the streaking contender thanks to a picture-perfect lead hook in the second. In the wake of the fight, it appears as though the Diamond could be in for a title shot this summer. Islam Makhachev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, took to social media, writing, "Dustin Poirier took a huge risk tonight and came out on top and looked amazing. Dustin versus Makhachev MMA in June, especially since everyone else has fights. If the UFC is good with this, then Islam would be game." Poirier also tweeted about the situation, writing, "Islam in June." This was then reposted by the lightweight champion, along with a handshake emoji and two clashing swords, indicating that the pair will in fact be going to war. Many have questioned why Makhachev would fight Poirier this summer, given that Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan are fighting at UFC 300. As well as Justin Gaethje, who has his own claim to a title shot. In response to a fan who asked that very question, Makhachev wrote, "Want to fight, brother, no more wait." As Poirier indicated on the MMA Hour, after taking no damage at UFC 299, he's ready to throw down this summer despite the quick turnaround.
I didn't take any damage in this fight. I'd be okay with June. I actually went into this fight with a couple injuries from camp.
Oh, wow.
My rib gamrot and busted my ribs up like almost 3 weeks ago, and it's been bothering me really bad ever since.
So would June be a problem?
No.
Okay.
No.
With the potential fight being discussed among the MMA community, the MMA guru shared his prediction, writing, "Calling it right now, Makhachev intentionally baits Poirier into jumping a guillotine by sticking his neck in one only to pass the legs, breaks the grip, and vom flu choke Poirier out cold." With both Poirier and Makhachev in agreement, it sounds as though the ball is in the UFC's court. Next up, let's take a look at MMA community goes off on Dana White for UFC 300. The MMA community was not happy with the bout order for UFC 300. The event will feature some of the biggest stars in the sport, including a number of former champions, with the main card full of exciting fights. However, despite that, streaking contender Bo Nickel has found his fight with Cody Brundage as the second bout on the main card, ahead of the lightweight title eliminator between Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan, which opens up the main card. In addition, fights such as the bout between Aljamain Sterling and Calvin Kattar and the clash between Yuri Prochazka and Alexander Rakic have also been slotted for the prelim card, causing quite the stir as many fans have questioned why Nickel versus Brundage has been given priority. In response to the news, Bo Nickel himself responded to a fan, writing that he, quote, "probably should be on the prelims." As Ben the Bane Davis wrote, Bo Nickel is above 7 former UFC champions, which drew a response from one fan who wrote, "Literally every fight on the prelims would be more appropriate." One member of the community used a popular meme to sum up the situation, writing, "Bo Nickel on the UFC 300 main card." Another added, "Bo Nickel on the main card, are you serious?" One fan wrote, "Nah, what the F, Bo Nickel should be the first prelim, not on the main card of UFC 300. While another suggested that the spot should have gone to the Sterling versus Kattar fight, writing, "Foul. Truthfully, that should be Aljo's spot, but Dana hates him with a passion." One member of the MMA community offered their take, writing, "Reality is, you haven't fought anyone ranked, and you're not ranked yourself. I don't think you deserve to be higher than all the ex-champions. Even Diego Lopez took a ranked fight on short notice for his debut fight, and is fighting a ranked opponent now." Another fan simply added, "Get Bo Nickel off the main card, bro." From the sounds of things, despite the criticism from fans, the UFC brass is unlikely to amend the bout order. Next, let's take a look at UFC fight updates. After an action-packed night of fights in Miami, let's take a look at some UFC fight updates, starting with a change to the upcoming UFC Vegas 89 card on March 23rd. With Gabriel Miranda out, Billy Quarantillo will now fight Youssef Zalal, who will be looking to make a successful return to the promotion after going 3-3-1 in the UFC from 2020 to 2022. Since then, he's won several fights in a row, all via stoppage, to earn himself a second stint with the promotion. Shifting gears and looking ahead at the UFC 300 card on April 13, a lightweight clash between fan favorites Jalen Turner and Renato Moicano has been confirmed as the final fight for the historic event. The bout will see Turner look to build on a December victory over Bobby Green, while Moicano will be looking to build on a 2-fight win streak that most recently saw him defeat Drew Dober in February. Last but certainly not least in the way of UFC fight updates, 2 new bouts have been added to the UFC Vegas 92 card on May 18th, with Tim Elliott competing against Tatsuro Taira in a flyweight bout, and Abus Magomedov taking on Warlley Alves in a middleweight showdown. In the case of the Elliott vs. Taira fight, Elliott will be looking to build on a December win over Sumadaji, while on the flip side, Taira will be looking to pick up his 16th straight win, which has seen him go undefeated as a professional fighter, including 5 straight victories inside the octagon. In the case of the Magomedov vs. Alves fight, Magomedov will be looking to snap a 2-fight skid that saw him defeated by Sean Strickland and Caio Borralho last year, while Alves will look to snap a 3-fight skid going back to 2021. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at Chito Vera breaks silence on UFC loss. In the main event of UFC 299, Chito Vera came up short in his quest to capture UFC gold, falling to Sean O'Malley via unanimous decision. While O'Malley was able to maintain his distance and repeatedly punish the challenger on the entry, Vera struggled to find his rhythm and implement his game plan. But despite the loss, many were quick to praise Vera for his remarkable display of toughness that saw him continue to seek a finish despite a number of shots that likely would have put away even the toughest fighters. With the dust now settled, Vera took to social media to break his silence on the loss, writing, "I dream about last night my whole life and fell short at the end of the day. I will be back. Thanks to my family and team for being by my side." The end of the post also included the following message, which was translated as, "The love of Ecuador was felt more than ever. Thanks for supporting me that way. I will be back stronger. The belt will be mine one day. Thank you." A separate but similar post was made on the platform formerly known as Twitter, which appears to translate to, "I'm not gonna lie, I'm sorry for not having achieved the goal, but the support and love of the country was something historic. They don't know the motivation and desire I have to continue and climb again. Thank you, Ecuador. They made themselves felt, and I will stop again." So far, it's been unclear when Vera will look to return to action. Next, let's take a look at Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley go back and forth. While Sugar Sean O'Malley's win over Chito Vera was an impressive one, former bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling wasn't as impressed as most. The way he sees things, a fight between O'Malley and Vera didn't make much sense to begin with, given the official bantamweight rankings. During a recent video for his YouTube channel, he shared his take on the fight, and O'Malley's call for Dana White to get a jet ready for a super fight with Ilia Topuria in Spain.
You defended the belt against a guy who wasn't even ranked in the top 5. They moved him up to the top 5 to make it look like it was better, like he fought a top 5 opponent. How did Chito move up in the ranking? Who did he beat to move up in the ranking? He just barely beat Pedro Munoz. And I feel like there's been another title fight, and I don't want to say names. There's been another title fight where a guy wanted to avenge his loss, and the guy was ranked like in the top 15, and he won. But it's just one of those things where, yeah, you won, but it would be nice to fight the guy who's next in line.
O'Malley simply responded to the post writing, "Wonder his thoughts on the last guy I knocked out, LOL's joke." Sterling then fired back, referencing the short turnaround for the pair's UFC 292 fight, writing, "Lols, yes, true men handicap their opponents and then pat their chest. What a badass. As I said, good win. Now be a man for once. Stop deflecting and fight the next best guy. Marab." Next, let's take a look at Michael Paige shuts down UFC fight. On the main card of UFC 299, longtime MMA veteran Michael Venom Paige made a successful UFC debut, silencing the doubters by defeating Kevin Holland. In the wake of the bout, there have been plenty of calls for Paige to match up with another renowned striker in the welterweight division, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. While the bout seems to make sense, given the karate styles of both men, Paige pumped the brakes on a fight during a recent interview with Sportsnet, explaining that two positives don't always equal a positive.
We are such similar styled fighters, it could potentially be a boring fight because we are going to be faking, we're going to know so much, we're going to be reading so much between each other that only really elite athletes are going to look at and be like, oh, okay, I see what just happened, but nothing much is happening. So I don't actually think it's going to be a great fight, and I love that guy too much to want to kick him. So I don't know, but like I said, the future, we're all prize fighters, whatever happens, but for right now, that's not really a focus.
With that in mind, Paige also made it clear that he has no plans to call out anyone specific. Given that, it sounds as though it's entirely up to the UFC on who MVP will fight next. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan is in jeopardy after Charles shared a picture that showed a cut above his eye similar to the last cut he had when he had to pull out against Islam Makhachev at UFC 294. Here's some reactions from the MMA community. How does he have a big cut again? Come on, man, like what kind of training sparring are they doing over there at Shoot the Box Academy? Them sparring session damn near be the death of Shoot the Box. That's why they killers over there. Going to at least affect his preparation pretty majorly and could possibly open up mid-fight again. Watch him pull out and this gets rescheduled for Brazil. Dustin Poirier reacts to Joe Rogan comments. After his fight at UFC 299, Dustin said that he rewatched the fight and didn't like what Rogan had to say about his performance and stamina. Here's what Dustin had to say.
I rewatched the fight last night with my wife when we got back to Louisiana. Joe Rogan said I was exhausted, said I was tired like 5 times. Bro, I do not get tired. I have some of the best cardio in this fight shoot that we do. Like I can go 25 minutes hard cracking the whole time. I can't believe he said that, but I felt good.
Top comments. Shop Cop with one of the coldest responses to a call out. Gilbert before the fight literally told Don Miragliotta to give him every chance to come back in case that was to happen. MMA community, this needs to be addressed. The ref stopped it too late. Also MMA community, this needs to be addressed. The ref stopped it too soon. The knee that Chito ate would have KO'd every other 135er on the planet. That man is an alien. Yeah, but if the ref stopped it earlier, everyone would be crying that Burns didn't get a chance. That's my kind of ref. Don't stop my fight unless I'm out cold. Make sure to leave a comment and you might get featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any MMA news. Check out our video from yesterday if you missed it. See you tomorrow.